So I started writing the record on a tour bus in the end of 2022. Matthew, West, and Jeff Pardo came out, and we wrote Rebel on the bus and started kind of fleshing out the idea of this new record. And those are some of my favorite people in the world, and so coming together with them was like just so special, and getting to write and all of that. But then as we were kind of getting into the record, it was just this moment of realizing like we want to stick with our core team, but we also want to add in some country writers to give a different perspective on this record. Try out some new people we've never written with before, and we had an idea to do writing camps, which I had never done before, and I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what to think going into it, but it was so amazing just getting to go in rooms, just like in a cabin or wherever we were, just completely away from our phones and the world, and getting to really dig deep into the message of Rebel. And we kind of had Rebel on a whiteboard and wrote every song from the idea of what does it mean to be a rebel, and kind of going through each song and fleshing out ideas of all of that. So we got to work with some incredible writers, Nicole Gallion, Emily Weisband, Trini Anderson, Lauren Hungate, Casey Bether, Jaron Johnston. The list goes on and on and on of writers that poured their talents into this record with me, Matthew, and Jeff. And getting to see everything come to life was so amazing. Just the ideas and the perspectives from their end coming from the country side of things is really what made this record what it is now. And so I think when you listen to the songs, you can kind of hear their influences in every song, which is really special. The first time I ever wrote with Matthew and Jeff was at Jeff Pardo's studio. We wrote My Jesus that day, and it was such a special day. And so when we were talking about these retreats and going into this new album, it was like, okay, well, where do we want to do a retreat? Where do we want to go? Do we want to go to the beach? Do we want to go to like a cabin in the woods? And I kind of just realized that I wanted to be at the same place that we wrote My Jesus in. Like, there's so much sweetness there of like the memories that we have there together, but also just the magic we've created in that room and all the songs we've written together. We just wanted to go back to that place. So we brought everybody to East Nashville and Jeff's studio and wrote the whole record there.
Oh, I love that. And a chop.
I can always tell if, like when I'm writing a song, if it's going to make it on the record or if it just has something special, which honestly every song that we wrote felt like that, even though we only cut 16. They all had that feeling, but I definitely knew the ones that were going to make it on Rebel. I could feel it, and I think the writers could too. It was just like we knew when we had magic and would continue to write, that song and finish it out. But I do feel like all the songs had a touch of that on this record. This record was written out of a place of rest and like rejuvenation for me, and also a place of, it was just very life-giving for me. As like the last record was more about me kind of finding my sound, but this record was just me getting to be myself and having the freedom to write the songs I wanted to write. A cool part about writing this record was kind of hearing the perspective of the songwriters coming into the rooms and like what they thought about it all. Like just them expressing to me how cool it was, from the countryside of things, going like, we get to write a song that's not about, whiskey or a woman or whatever, like kind of refreshing for them to get to write a song about their faith that maybe they don't normally get to write about. And then on the Christian side of things, the Christian writers coming in and getting to write something a little bit more country that's, not a worship song, And so it felt like we were kind of paving a new road in a sense. We were writing about subjects that really have never been written before, and we were looking at the album from just a different perspective. And also having Rebel as like the North Star helped us really flesh out the whole idea and everything.
Turn the radio on my drive today. Heard a whole lot of songs about
Songs About Whiskey is one of the songs on the record I think most people are like, what is this? What has Ann Wilson done? And I think that was such a fun song to get to write. It was like, how would Ann Wilson write a song about whiskey? And it's like when people see that title, they think something of it, but then when they listen to it, it's like the opposite of what they would think. And I think that just gave the writers in the room a kind of a fresh perspective on like writing a song about whiskey, but in a whole new way, because it's really a song about Jesus. Songwriters, the incredible songwriters that came on this project and gave me their brilliant ideas and talents behind it, it's truly means the world to me. And I will always cherish this season of songwriting. Like, I will never forget it. And the songs that came out of it, to go from this idea of a rebel to 16 songs that each have their own unique and powerful message to them. It was just one of my favorite seasons. I will never forget it. the memories from it and the relationships made and just getting to bond with these songwriters and the closeness of that was so special, and I'm forever grateful for it, and we'll always have these songs to look back on that season. Yeah, there was one week in particular where we were literally there like all week, and I think we wrote maybe 10 songs. We were just in the zone. We were focusing in on the record, and I think we cut maybe almost every single one of them. Those are some of my favorite memories from writing the record. We laughed so hard. We just like got to this point of closeness, I think, with each other, and the chemistry in the room was so strong that we could just keep writing, but also had a blast while doing it.
That's why I sing songs.